Hello everybody and welcome back. JysterDarklight here, playing Bioshock. Last time, we were on an escort mission for the little sister to let us through all the doors that Fontaine locked. And it turns out he was splicing himself, so that's fun. If I can look at radio messages and ready. Fontaine is near or need more. Let's see here. Need more.
That might be plenty for the working scrubs and the pencil pushers, but I need more. More! I want to splice till there ain't nothing left to splice with!
Yeah, so he's trying to mutate himself. So this should be a fun game of try not to die. Alright, and I'm guessing we're going with anti-personnel. And we'll go with fire's always good. That's good. That's good. Let's go with the camera first. Or, actually, wrench. Oh, never mind. Wait. Fuck, am I recording? Shit, I need to check. Oh no. I can only hope I'm recording. Please, God, say I'm recording. I gotta pause. Hold on. I'll be right back as soon as I can pause. Please. Wait, hold on. I need to check. Oh, thank God. Thank God. I'm not a scrub. I'm not a noob. The game has been saved.
I remember when me and the crowd put you in that sub. You were no more than two. You were my ace in the hole. But you were also
no
the closest thing I
if you die, you
had
must
to a
save
son.
progress.
And that's why this hurts. Betrayal, kid. Life ain't strictly business.
Oh. Game has been saved. Kill you? Oh! The machine is damaged.
Go! Go now! Hit him with the needle!
Drain of Atom. Ow! Whoa, whoa, no. Holy shit, this is a final boss. This is kind of what I wanted the other bosses to be. Oh, hi. Let me just, check. Chill Touch. Do I have Chill Touch? I do. Winter Blast. Winter Blast!
Need a minute. And I'm gonna cut you into bits.
Alright. Oh, he's electricity. Nope. Wrong one. Where is it? Security bullseye.
You think I'm alone in this world? I got more than enough mobs to watch my back while I recharge.
Alright. Next gun. Oh, wait, hold on. Okay, fair enough. We're assuming anti-personnel.
This is what I get.
Yep. Drained of all that
In
Adam.
this world, I got more than enough mobs to watch my back while I recharge.
Are you afraid?
Dude, what the hell is that? Oh, those are electric balls. Ow. Dude. Dude, he is... This is...
Catch my breath. Then I'm gonna bury you.
Yeah, well, try that without any Adam. Ow.
I had you built. I sent you topside. I called you back, showed you what you was capable of. Even that life you thought you had, that was something I dreamed up and had tattooed inside your head. Now, if you don't call that family, I know what it is. And now,
Oh my god, a pack of piranhas. Oh my god. Oh hey. I'm out of the suit.
They offered you this city.
Aw.
And you refused it. And what did you do instead?
I
What I've
left.
come to expect of you.
Please.
You saved them.
Oh.
You gave them the one thing that was stolen from them. A chance. A chance to learn. To find love. To live. And in the end, what was your reward? You never said. But I think I know. A family.
Oh. Was adorable. Why do I feel like things would be different if I were to have had harvested every single one of them? Oh shit. Credits. Ah shit! No! Ah! There. Yeah, that was Bioshock. Very interesting game. Pulled the rug out of us, for sure with the beginning half, not gonna lie. With, Atlas. I'm gonna be honest. First playthrough, I was like, man, why did he send this guy over without any backup towards this bathysphere? Considering that everyone would have known that you needed to be like Ryan's like family or in the inner circle in order to get in, and it was coming from the outside. So I was kind of like, might have been like a trick thing, and he was like, just under checkout. Yeah, the game was actually pretty good. I'm not very good with summaries, as you all would have come to realize. the game was pretty good. I like the overall like feel of the game, where like you're exploring like this pseudo abandoned city under the sea, away from any government control or religion or any of the sort. It's just people. No government, just people. And it's and it's a very like, I would say very realistic thing that would happen. like within like a week or like a year or two of this happening, it would not surprise me if any of this would have happened. Especially since Adam was introduced. Since Adam was essentially just, I don't know, every drug in existence times the Atobomb, with the genetic instability, which equals, like, I mean, it was essentially like them quote unquote creating themselves. And they made themselves insane, disgusting, ugly, horrifying. Except for Fontaine. Fontaine was a Chad among Chads, apparently. Towards the end. But yeah, this entire game was it's just like an entire thought experiment of, but what if this happened? But what if there was no restrictions? Nothing to stop you. Like, we barely saw any of the science experiments, but there was living test subjects, apparently. Or dead subjects. They were abducting children, making them into drug factories, essentially. Surgeons having no restrictions, just doing what the hell they felt like, and no one, and Fontaine picked at it, or exploited it by doing the one thing that everyone does, exploiting the lower class for all they're worth. Well, more like assigning them from 1 penny to 5 pennies. Not realizing that that's still bad, and just taking over Rapture like that. With it being like the people versus the ones who like ran it. Eventually, Ryan became the thing that he sought to avoid. He became the man. And yeah. The ending was actually the final boss was actually pretty cool. I wish they would have done that to like all the other bosses. Because all the other quote-unquote bosses, were just like souped-up splicers. And when I mean souped-up splicers, I meant like they were souped-up leadhead splicers. Right? They only had more health and shot harder. Which was, don't get me wrong, awesome. But why? Questions of morality. Oh.
To kill, excuse me, to harvest or not to harvest. The moral dilemma that follows you throughout the Bioshock experience and defines the fate of the player. This choice lays at the center of your Bioshock story and has repercussions that can be felt in nearly every facet of the gameplay.
Managing Bioshock questions morality. Ooh.
Part of Bioshock's lasting legacy, of course, are the Little Sisters and this moral choice that presented itself to the player. Everyone became a water cooler conversation about, like, well, did you save them? Did you harvest them? That concept, Ken, was that something that came about early in development, or that binary choice? When did that come into the game?
I don't remember when. I mean, we had the concept of them being protected, but I can't remember when you actually
certainly
chose.
wasn't. When there were slugs, it was not meaningful. I think there was.
Do you salt it? Do you
Squash
not
it.
salt it?
Yeah, there were resources that you could get, but there was no choice there, right? The choice was, do I want to fight the Big Daddy or not?
Yeah.
I think once we got into the realm of, they have to be empathetic. The player has to have some feeling towards them, which you're not going to get from slugs. Right. Then we start seeing that opportunity there of, like, okay, nobody's going to want to do harm to these girls, or do they? Like, and do we allow them to? It was we weren't comfortable with it at first when it first came out that we could.
I think it was important that it was a way to reflect the sort of larger economic questions of a world like Rapture, where, like, where the economy drives everything. Are there any limits to economic decision making versus moral decision making? Because that's sort of what the Randian notion is that it's not the role that you don't sort of legislate morality. Let's try to take that to an extreme and see where that ends up. And Little Sisters sort of became that. And in this world, they became a commodity. And the question we have for the players, are you willing, they're a commodity to you as well, potentially. Are you willing to participate in the commodification? There was, I think, a fair amount of nervousness internally at the publisher about it for a little while, but pretty quickly they were able to sort of say, look, we trust you guys, and go, do this. And I only had a few, the press, and this sort of happens over and over again. The games press worried a ton about it and, like, wring their hands about it. They ever recognized it was a upsetting topic, but that it was done to a larger purpose. That it wasn't just sort of like, hey, this is the game where you kill children. And
whatever, and that was a sensitivity. I know that, like, you guys wanted to call them Little Sisters, not little girls, and it was and it wasn't, it wasn't killing them, it was harvesting them. And I mean, you did some things probably on purpose, right, to sort of explain that this, you weren't doing anything vicious to them, right?
Well, I mean, you do sort of, they do sort of disappear out of view, and a big slug out of their belly, comes up that you. Well, we didn't want that to be graphic. We wanted to be very clear that you were killing them.
Yeah.
But it was not intended to be a prurient in terms of, hey, this is a simulation of pulling a sea slug out of a little girl's belly. But we wanted you to understand that you were making a very diabolical moral economic pact there. And we think that came across, and I think it came across well enough. And I think the test of how well it came across is, I think most people didn't really thought of it as am I willing to do this thing or not?
Right.
And people would tell us stories how, like, their girlfriend saw them harvesting, and then they literally slept on the couch that night.
Right.
And that's an interesting, that was interesting how people connected to a 3D mesh that's really no different than any other 3D mesh in the world. Like, this little sister, she's not a person. She's a 3D asset, a virtual 3D asset, right? That has a voice actor connected to it, who's an adult woman, and nobody was actually getting harmed, but people still emotionally connected to them and made an emotional connection.
And also, I think when you're playing, you don't really know what the impact of that choice is.
Yes.
And that's sort of the curiosity of, like, well, you're a gamer, so it's like, am I going to game the system? Which one should I pick? How does this impact things as you go through the game? It's never really fully clear what that choice is going to lead to, right? And the ambiguousness of that was something you wanted to sort of create mystery around throughout the game?
Yeah, we went back and forth a lot about what the rewards for harvesting versus saving would be, and actually I think we should have really pushed further that the rewards for saving were should have been much more meager than the rewards for harvesting, just to really sort of put you up against the wall, push you up against the wall and say, are you going to stick by your moral guns here? Because you're going to pay for it.
Yeah.
Because that's usually the way life is, right? It's always harder to take a moral path than it is to take an amoral path. But there's incentives to take amoral paths because it's the easier path.
as you play through the game,
Oh.
eventually you get to the ending, and as we know now, there were sort of two endings that were affected by that choice. And that was something at the time, I know you said publicly that you weren't in favor of sort of having two endings. Was that in part because, the game is about not having choice, or did you think that, the two endings were, I don't know, like, I'm interested for narratively, like, why you didn't want to go that path?
It seemed forced, given that the game really sort of almost made a joke, a meta commentary joke about the lack of agency in games, the lack of meaning of those choices, given that you have these two endings. I guess you could make an argument that, well, you were free, you were given choice of once Ryan's dead, and that's really what it's about. But I think we also didn't really have enough time to execute on those super well. I was pretty happy with how the happier one came out, with the sort of little sister focus, but it's a much more subtle story than I would have time to tell about your slow descent into moral chaos and dissolute living and all the things that sort of come along with a life that is sort of separate from a moral structure. It's a long story.
And so, you were just switching a cutscene. It wasn't like you were doing sort of a whole other level that was different or something. So the choice was...
There's two cutscenes with very tight time and economic constraints.
Or just start a nuclear war.
Yes. And that's not...
You're a nice guy, or you start a nuclear war.
And because we had so many problems on our plate, that was something I had to sort of do in the spare time. So I was pretty happy with one, but not very happy with the other.
I know you had said publicly before that there was another sort of more ambiguous ending that you had originally planned, or what would you have done?
There was a notion of an ambiguous ending, which if I just wrote one, I would have found a way that would just talk about the moral ambiguity of the world rather than the sort of, positive or negative, because it is such a look. I think we really tried with Bioshock not to sort of make a game about good and evil. It's really about circumstances and what circumstances lead people to, and how they delude themselves with ideology to do things that they would think are evil, but it's okay because it's for the good cause. And that's what I probably would have. If I just had one to write, I'd probably focus more on that. How difficult it is to sort of align when you start being driven by ideology rather than being in the moment and thinking about the impact of what you're doing.
Sean, you talked to gamers, I'm sure, over the years. Did you ever get a sense of how many people harvested versus saved, and was there any sort of data? I mean, this is before the days where you get telemetry and data on like what people picked and whatnot.
Yeah, anecdotally, it seems like more people saving Little Sisters. Although, I have a few friends that were. I just harvested every single one. I wanted to see what happened. So I don't know if that was more, the game developer and them trying to see, what would happen, but certainly for the most part, I think most people, which I guess is a good thing. It means that maybe people are good at heart. They kind of feel bad. They want they want to save the Little Sisters. So, yeah, I'll say it. The needle sways towards the green there.
Time for bye, Mr. B. Hurry, Mr. Bubbles.
All right, well that said everything about what I needed. I'm not going to show you all of this. I just wanted to click morals because I was like, ooh, morals. This will probably say everything about what I was trying to say, and it kind of did. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you liked the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, then don't like the video. Just leave a comment down below why you guided toward the ideas of irrational games discarded or reworked heavily during the making of the original Bioshock. Oh, that's cool. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching. If you like the video, like the video. If you don't like the video, then don't like the video. Just leave a comment down below why you didn't like the video. Remember, all feedback is good feedback, as long as it's helpful and appropriate. And while you're down there feeling like you're coming back more often than not, then hit that subscribe button, the little bell icon to notify you whenever I upload. And with that, I think that's going to be it. Thank you all so much for watching. Jester, out.